Wait till I get back and see him. Wait till I slap a. Alright, yeah. Yeah, wait. Wait till I come back in the market late night. And then it's just you and I you up.
Children gonna be children. Kids will be kids, man. You know what I'm saying? I expect that from them. I expect them to do the wrong thing.
Word on the street is that King Harris's reckless mouth in jail has finally caught up with him. Now his dad, T.I., is scrambling to clean up the mess. But insiders say the damage is already done. And this isn't just a slap on the wrist situation. The gangs inside aren't planning to teach Harris a simple lesson. They're looking to shut him down for good. Here's the lowdown on how it all went south. It all started with a traffic stop that changed everything. King Harris, 20, the son of trap legend Clifford T.I. Harris Jr., was behind the wheel of a black BMW. What should have been a routine drive through the suburbs quickly spiraled into chaos, blowing up Twitter timelines, Instagram stories, and world star comment sections. King, known for flexing online and chasing that rap money, was about to face the consequences of his past in the worst way. Reports from Fox 5 Atlanta and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution say King almost sideswiped a Dunwoody police cruiser while leaving a gas station. The cops didn't waste a second. They spun their cruiser around, lights flashing, to pull him over. But this wasn't just a minor traffic stop. As the officer approached, he smelled marijuana and noticed a serious piece of hardware strapped to King's hip. Suddenly, what seemed like a routine stop went from 0 to 100 in seconds.
You weren't allowed to turn left right there because it's separated by those double yellow lines. I got you. Do you have your license on you? Go ahead and step it up. Okay, Mr. Harris. Okay, we gotta have a talk about something else. So keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Months later, body cam footage surfaced in 2025, showing the officer staying calm while explaining the stop and asking King to step out of the car. The tension in that clip is unreal. It's clear this was just the beginning of a much bigger storm brewing for Harris. Things were about to get real messy, turning this suburban traffic stop into full-on hood drama. When the officers ran King Harris's legal name through the system, they found an active bench warrant out of Pickens County, Georgia. The warrant was for failing to show up in court on charges dating back to 2022. To see how deep this ran, you've got to rewind to August 2022. Back then, King got pulled over and hit with 3 misdemeanors: speeding, driving under the influence of drugs, and knowingly operating a car with a suspended license. Rolling Out described it as standard traffic trouble, but King didn't handle it right. When the court notice was mailed in September 2024, it came back undelivered. In Georgia, missing a court date, even for small stuff, can land you a bench warrant. And that's exactly what happened. By October, when King nearly clipped that squad car in the suburbs, that warrant was live and waiting. The stop escalated fast. Body cam footage shows cops catching the smell of sticky and questioning King about the steel in his ride. King kept it real. He straight up admitted to carrying the burners. For viewers later, this was insane. Here was the son of a trap legend casually confirming he had serious firepower along with the gas in the mix. But what really stood out to the officers wasn't aggression. It was King's cooperation. Despite the tension, he stayed cool, hands visible, stepped out when told, and even chatted with the cops. At one point, an officer told him that was classic Miranda, the exact moment everyone watching realized King Harris was officially booked. First, he got processed at DB County Jail.
So, our procedures, we gotta check it. Is there anything else that I need to be aware of?
Nah, I don't want y'all to check the car.
I can't hear you.
I don't want y'all to search the car.
Well, I understand that, but if I smell weed, that's probable cause to search the vehicle.
You're not gonna find nothing. You're gonna find my guns.
Just multiple guns?
I got a stick.
Then shipped over to Pickens County, where that warrant originated. But what made this stop even more insane was when the officers realized exactly who they had in custody. During casual chat in the patrol car, King casually mentioned that his dad was none other than the King of the South himself, T.I. That revelation blew up online later, confirming what everyone suspected. This wasn't just any young cat caught in the system. This was the son of a trap legend, facing the same type of legal struggles T.I. had dealt with years ago.
So the warrant is valid and they do want you.
Hello?
And now that I'm thinking about it, I want you to make sure that You know your rights. I'm gonna read your Miranda real quick. Just give me 1 sec. Just gonna read you your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can.
Here's the plot twist. Despite all the chaos, the loud, the hardware, the active warrant, King didn't spend months behind bars. In fact, the very next day, October 15th, 2024, the warrant was recalled and King walked free. No new charges were filed for the Mary Jane or the strapped guns, likely thanks to Georgia laws. License carry is legal, and small amounts of weed often just lead to tickets, not serious time. Legally, this mess was over almost as fast as it started, but the damage was already done in the court of public opinion. His name was everywhere, from TMZ to Hot New Hip Hop. Headlines screamed, "Arrested, guns and weed found, warrant confirmed." On paper, it was a short bid, but culturally, it hit hard. For years, T.I. had warned King about the dangers of trying to live that street life, even in the suburbs. Interviews had him saying straight up that King was on a path that could land him locked up, and here it was, a prediction coming true. Still, the body cam told a deeper story. King wasn't wild or aggressive. He was calm, almost resigned, discussing his confusion over the warrant and even asking to hit up his pops. For the culture, this was a humanizing moment. King Harris, usually flexing online to prove his street cred, was just a young man in cuffs, trying to call his father from the suburbs. The body cam footage didn't surface until 2025, but once it hit YouTube and the hip-hop blogs, it set the internet on fire. Some saw it as proof that King was trying way too hard to be street, echoing Atlanta Black Star's blunt headline. Others showed love, pointing out that a bench warrant over traffic charges could happen to plenty of young adults. Still, the optics were wild. T.I.'s son, with burners and gas, under arrest in the suburbs. It cemented King's reputation as someone who stayed in the mix, but this was just the start. While the official record shows a short jail stint and quick release, the streets spun a much darker narrative. By 2025, rumors flooded online. Claims that King had been sentenced to 5 years, jumped in the county, or that T.I. was begging OGs to protect his son. Behind every viral clip of King Harris is a father wrestling with raising a son in the spotlight.
Say his name so I can look you up.
King Harris.
King Harris?
You know T.I.?
Huh?
T.I.?
Who's that?
That's my father.
Clifford Harris Jr., better known as T.I. King's October 2024 arrest grabbed headlines. But it was only one chapter in a long-running family saga, a clash of generations, pride, and values that had been simmering long before those Dunwoody lights flashed. T.I. had warned his son about a dangerous path for years. The rapper-turned-businessman didn't sugarcoat it. King's antics, from Waffle House fights to flashing weapons online, showed he was chasing validation in the wrong places. T.I. knew the consequences firsthand. He served a year in federal prison in 2009 on weapons charges and had multiple run-ins with the law. He often told King bluntly, "You're going to end up in prison if you keep this up." By October 2024, that prophecy seemed to come true. But cracks in their relationship were visible long before. At a late 2023 Atlanta Falcons game, King and T.I. had a public argument that went viral. King shouting he wasn't raised as a spoiled silver spoon kid, making it clear tension had been brewing for years. Instead, King claimed he spent much of his childhood with his grandmother, far from the comforts of T.Y. and Tiny's mansion. For King, it was about keeping it real.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name?
What's your name?
My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show.
Come back.
What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here.
For T.I., it was maddening. A son rejecting the stability his dad had fought so hard to provide. That night at the stadium became a metaphor. A father and son locked in a tug-of-war over identity, each desperate to prove the other wrong. While the crowd, both in the stands and online, watched it unfold like a live reality show. So when King Harris got pulled over in Dunwoody in October 2024 and cops found weed, firearms, and an active bench warrant, It wasn't just a legal problem, it was a family earthquake. But the moment King reached for his father, while in handcuffs, stood in stark contrast to the online bravado he often flaunted. It showed a fragile undercurrent beneath all the drama. Even amid arguments, King still saw his father as the one person who could help him. Publicly, T.I. stayed cool. No long social media rants, no press conferences, but behind the scenes, sources say he was working the phones, contacting lawyers, checking with court clerks, doing whatever he could to manage the fallout. It wasn't just about legal protection, it was about reputation. T.I. spent the last decade building more than a rap career. He built an empire, and his son in cuffs threatened not just the Harris name, but the empire he had carefully constructed. While the arrest lasted less than 24 hours, the emotional impact on the family was massive. Ironically, while T.I. was handling his son's arrest, King Harris was about to step into fatherhood himself. In November 2024, he and longtime partner Janisha, Big Nana Epps, welcomed their baby boy King Jr. For T.I., the irony wasn't lost. On a hot 107.9 interview shortly after, he cracked a joke that doubled as a truth bomb. Funny, raw, and a recognition that the cycle was repeating. The rebellious son was now the father being tested. For most families, a son's arrest or a public argument with a parent might stay private. But the Harrises aren't ordinary. Every moment becomes a headline. Every clash turns into a clip. Billboard covered the arrest. Atlanta Black Star roasted King for trying so hard to be a thug. Social media spun his life into endless memes. For T.I., every fatherly failure was public. For King, every youthful misstep became proof of recklessness. Together they became a spectacle, part hip-hop dynasty, part reality show drama, part cautionary tale. King summed up his relationship with T.I. by comparing them to Ghost and Tariq from Power. It wasn't just a casual reference, it hit deep. Ghost, the father, clawed his way out of the streets to build an empire, desperate to shield his son from the same mistakes. Tariq, the son, rejects his father's protection, chasing independence even if it leads down dangerous roads. That's the Harris family dynamic in a nutshell. T.I. sees his past and King's future. King sees his father's warnings as chains to break, and the public devours it, turning every stumble into viral content. What makes the Harris story so gripping isn't just fame or controversy. It's the humanity underneath. A father who loves his son but fears for him. A son who loves his father but refuses to admit it. A family trapped in the paradox of privilege and authenticity, trying to figure out how to be both ordinary and extraordinary at once. By 2025, it was clear King Harris's story was bigger than one arrest. It's about generational push and pull, the cycles of hip-hop families, and the eternal question, can children of fame carve their own path? King's next chapter will test whether he can be more than just T.I.'s son, and whether fatherhood, music, and legacy will push him toward growth or pull him back into the same spotlight for all the wrong reasons. When people talk about King Harris in 2025, the conversation too often starts and ends with that October arrest, the flashing lights, the body cam, the mug shot. But King's story isn't about one Dunwoody parking lot incident. It's about where he goes from here, as an artist, a father, and the heir to one of hip-hop's most complex legacies. While rumors of gang beef and prison dominate headlines, the truth is, King's life is unfolding in real time. New music, a newborn son, and a father-son clash bigger than just one family. Let's start with the moment that changed King's personal life forever. On November 5th, 2024, just weeks after his arrest, King welcomed his first child with longtime partner Janisha Big Nana Epps. He proudly shared the news online. November 5th, 8:09 a.m., welcome King Jr., time to take over. Becoming a father at 20 is life-changing for anyone, but for King, the timing was wild. 1 month, he's in cuffs, asking to call his pops. The next, he's holding his own seed. Funny on the surface, but underneath that humor is a serious truth. Cycles repeat, and how King handles fatherhood might decide if his son repeats his mistakes or rises above them. Running parallel to fatherhood is King's music grind. Since his teens, he's been dropping tracks, trying to step out of T.I.'s shadow. But the October arrest and all the surrounding noise put his artistry in a tricky spot. On one hand, controversy drives clicks. When King dropped Dear Son after his baby arrived, people tuned in, not just for the music, but to see how he'd respond to this new chapter. Would he rap about growth, regret, or defiance? On the other hand, the risk is clear. His name could end up tied more to viral mugshots than mixtapes. As Billboard noted, being a celebrity's child cuts both ways. The doors are wide open, but the expectations are sky high. The Harris name carries undeniable weight in hip-hop, and that weight will always rest on King's shoulders. His father built an empire through hard lessons and hard time, and now King is being judged on whether he'll uphold or undermine that legacy. His wins or failures won't just define him. They reflect on how the world sees T.Y. as both a father and a mentor. Every move King makes, whether toward growth or self-destruction, becomes part of a larger story about generational inheritance, legacy, and the burden of living in the shadow of greatness. King Harris stands at a crossroads. On one side is the narrative of a reckless, privileged kid chasing street cred. On the other, a young man growing into fatherhood, artistry, and maturity. Which path he chooses will decide whether the next viral headline is a mugshot or a platinum plaque. In the end, this saga isn't about gangs or jail time. It's about a family in transition, a father trying to guide his son, and a son desperate to prove himself on his own terms. King is more than T.I.'s son. He's a rapper, a father, a public figure whose every step is scrutinized. While the internet thrives on exaggeration, the reality is dramatic enough. A young man standing in his father's shadow, trying to build his own empire. The real question isn't whether T.I. begged a gang member, it's whether King Harris will level up and grow into his full potential before the cycle repeats. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop families and the stories behind the headlines.